Hey guys, it's Ross here. Today it is going to be the day we take off the trans and finally look at that clutch. After that, this will begin part 1 of how to reinstall your motor and trans, assuming everything goes well with this clutch. I have a brand new one that I'm just going to throw it in, and hopefully it's not the trans, but here we will find out shortly. If we pull off that trans and that clutch is looking good, then we know that it wasn't the clutch's fault. But either way, we're replacing it. So let's see what ends up happening today. Alright, so I'm sorry I couldn't do this on film, but that clutch, there's the trans. This one has failed. And by failed, I mean, let's see if I can show you the splines. Alright, apparently you can't. I'll wait till I take it out. But you guys can probably see this. Yeah, it's not supposed to do that. It's the actual metal drive in there shaking around. I'm gonna pull this off. This is all going put aside and to figure out what warranty wants to do with this. I think everything else is fine except for that. If I had to guess, it's only got like 4,000 miles on it, maximum 5. I did this in April, so get these off. About to suck because I put Loctite on everything. I should probably go get my Loctite for the new one, and I'll let you guys know what I find. Alright, so figured you guys would want to see this. That looks perfectly fine. That is the clutch disc. That looks perfectly fine. That looks perfectly fine. But if you look in here, you can see the teeth, how they kind of like round in. Yeah, the input shaft was just spinning on there and it wasn't able to engage all the way. So I've emailed these pictures to the people on eBay website. They're gonna see if they can warranty it. So with that being said, I wanted to bring these up. These are ARP flywheel bolts. I have another set. I might reuse these because they've got like 4,000 miles on them. And I've got to take this off. That's going to be a pain. But if you have a regular Sentra, you're going to have Torque Plus bits there. Pay attention to the Torx Plus. I forget the size numbers off the top of my head right now. I think it's TP 40 and 45, depending on the year, because 02, 03 have different size, the smaller size, and 04 through 06 has the bigger size. But you can get these replacement by ARP. They're way better, and I would recommend those. I just got to get them off so I can replace this stuff. Alright, I'll let you guys know when this is done. Bye. Alright, so the old one is off. The new one, when I say new, it's kind of old. It's just never been used before. Is on there. I'm going to put the ARP grease or lubricant, whatever. This stuff right here on these ARP bolts. I'm actually going to put them on all of the bolts that I put on here. And then I'm going to put some orange Loctite on each bolt, and then I'm going to thread them in there. And then I'm going to look up the torque specs and torque it down, and then I'll let you guys know what the torque specs were if I remember. But yeah, let's get back to this. Alright, so I torqued these down. I looked at Jim Wolf Technology. They torqued theirs down to 93. So I did it in 3 steps. I went 30 pounds, 60 pounds, and then I went to 93 with orange Loctite. I don't think that's going anywhere. A little thing that I would do to help you out, I put a wrench, or a ratchet and a socket on here, on the flywheel, or sorry, not flywheel, the pulley over here for the harmonic balancer.
harmonic dampener, I guess is what it is actually. But that allows you to torque that side down while this side is keeping everything in place. It works pretty well. I've done it a few times. And is that broken? It broke. Oh no. I might have another one. Damn. Glad I saw that. Well, I'm gonna fix that now that I've seen that and get the rest of this stuff on. So I'll let you go. Alrighty, so now the clutch is on there, and basically you want to be able to pop that thing out and slide it back in, because if you can do that, you should be able to do the same thing with the transmission. The input shafts should line up, so you just pop it in there and everything should be going back together. I'll let you guys know when that's done. When you do these bolts, what I like to do is I like to go all the middle ones, since there's 9 of them, and then whatever side you decide to go off of on the, so say you go from here, say you want to go here, you're going to do the same thing, so you're going to do the right of every single middle bolt, and then you're going to go over this one, and then so on and so forth, and kind of follow like a little star pattern. First time around I went to 14 foot-pounds, and then the next time I did 30, and then I did one last one of 32 on all of them. And that should be decent enough. When you first start off and you put them on here, I just like to get them all like loosely, and then I grab a ratchet and just slowly crank them down, and then after they're all like even, all 9 of them, that's when I grab the torque wrench and then I start tightening them all down. That's just how I do it. It's a slower process, but I've had good results with it. So I'll let you guys go and let you guys know when this is back together. Oh, and I replaced that broken sensor right there, the oil sensor, oil pressure sensor. So that's good now, but let's get back to this. Alright, so this is all back together. Clutch is back on. So motor, trans, starter, it's all plugged back in. This one's there, that one's there. And oh, I gotta plug you back in. One second. Is that not the one that goes there? Hold on. No, I know what you are. There's another plug missing. One second. Alright, well, I found it. It was tucked away, but that one goes there, so those 3 are plugged back in. Now, I'm gonna take this, drop it in there for right now, and then call it a night. I'll let you guys know when it's in. Alright, so motor and trans is placed into the engine bay. I think the first thing I'm going to do is put the motor mounts on. Well, trans mount, motor mount, get those bolted in, and then I think I'm actually going to lift the engine up and place the cross member in between and bolt up the mounts, and then bolt up to the actual chassis. So that way when it's in place, everything should bolt up easier. I gotta do the power steering wall. It's down there. Probably bolt that up next after these mounts. I'm gonna get these mounts in, and then I'll let you know how this goes. Alright, and just like that, Motor mounts are in, cross member is in. That's my little fix for that for now. Power steering is on. Can't really see it. That tube did come out while I was putting it in, so I lost all power steering fluid. That's not that big of a deal. It's not that hard to bleed power steering. AC is in. I was able to put the motor mounts on the cross member first and then bolt the cross member up to the car. I've never done it like that before, but I thought about it and it actually made it easier to line up the other two mounts because it kind of just kept everything in position. So I would suggest doing that. It made my life a little bit easier. You just got to be careful. I got to finish wiring harness over here. I got to do coolant. But this thing, now that it's in place, is for the most part ready to go. I should be able to keep on buttoning things up. I'll probably end up doing heater hose lines, and then after the heater hose lines, I'll probably move on to like the shift linkage and stuff like that. I'll let you guys know what I end up doing next. But that's the update. Alright, so like I was saying, it's all pretty much uphill from here. I plugged in the fuel rail, so now fuel system, I need to prime it, but that should be good. Evap is plugged in, sensor is plugged in, and vacuum line. So your vacuum lines that you have are going to be your brake booster line, which is right here. I put mine right here on this plenum. Another one you're going to have is going to be this vacuum line, which didn't get undone. It goes from here to right here on the valve cover. Move that, you can kind of see it better. Goes right there to there. I just kind of loop it in right here. Plugs that up. That one goes brake booster. This one right here goes to your evap. So there's a little blue sensor down there. Yeah, that's your evap. There's a better way to like route all this stuff, but for the time being, I'm just trying to get it back up and running, just so that way I can test it. I can tuck all this stuff up all nice and neat later. I just want to get this car running for the time being. I did the shifter cables. It's those two 12 millimeters down there. The reason that I undo the 12 millimeters bolts, let me see if I can zoom in, is because those ears like to break. Believe it or not, I actually sold a set of those ears today because one of my buddies broke one taking off those clips. So I decided to just undo the 12 millimeter bolts and I don't have to mess with the clips. When I pull shifters, that's the way I do it. It saves me time and headache and not having to worry about those possibly breaking. So yeah, that's the update for the time being. I'll probably finish the wiring harness over here, probably put the battery back in, and then that should button up everything over here. Well, cold air intake too. So let's go continue buttoning this up, and I'll let you know what I end up doing next. Alright, so I temporarily plugged everything in. Over here you have your starter wire, goes straight from your starter to here. You have ECU wire that goes right here. This is your third plug you gotta plug in. Once you're plugged all of those in, you've got your ECU side of things from here done. I went ahead and bolted that up. It's really hard to record doing all this because like once you get going, you just start going. I don't know if I told you I already did the heater core lines. What else did I get done? I was going to do the intake, but I decided that's probably going to be the last thing I do. I think next is going to be the radiator, so I can plug these in and then I can get the battery tray in, and then I can do the grounds and stuff over here. Yeah, I'll do the grounds underneath for the trans here in a second. But we're almost there. After we get this radiator in, I gotta put coolant. I gotta put the belt back on. I gotta put power steering in. Over here, this needs to go inside the cabin. This, I need to put the ECU back on. But realistically, we're not looking too bad. I got a ground over here. It's an extra ground I gotta put on. I broke a ground that went from here to here. This is blue wire. I'll replace it with something. Yeah, I'm just trying to give you guys a general idea of what all has to be done when you're putting everything back together. I showed you guys how to do it, taking it apart. So it's basically the same concept, so it's just a lot easier once you get it to this point. I still gotta do the exhaust. So, not too many more things, but we're almost there. Hook up the alternator, and the AC down there. I'll let you guys know when I get all this side situated. We'll do this side and work in sections, and then I'll go underneath and I'll tighten up that back motor mount and axles. 3 bolts for that axle over here. And I think we're ready to go. So, yeah. If I remember something that I missed, I'll let you guys know when I get the everything going. Alright, so we're back. We've got a lot more things buttoned up. Radiators in. I just need to fill that up with liquid. I gotta do that. I gotta do power steering. We're gonna fill that up too. I decided I'm probably gonna drain the rest of this trans fluid out after I remove these axles and just top it all off. I don't know exactly how much I lost. Some of it spilled out, so I'm just gonna drain the rest of it. It sucks because it's really expensive trans fluid, the MT90 Redline, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. It'd be stupid of me to not do it the right way and potentially have to do this all over again. So I'm going to fill that up. Fans are wired back in or plugged back in. Everything I think up here for the most part is done. I gotta do the cold air intake. I'm gonna start by doing the inside of the harness since it is the next day and my hands are clean right now. So I'm gonna do that first, the ECU, button that up. Then I got the serpentine belt, the exhaust, axles, battery intake, the strut bar, and I think that's everything. So hopefully the next time I give you guys an update, it'll be startup. Alright, so intake is on, MAF is plugged in, ECU is buttoned up. On the inside, it's all buttoned up. Axles are in. Exhaust is back together. That back motor mount finally got tightened up. I just need to put a battery in, fluids, and by fluids I mean trans fluid, coolant, power steering, because I had a little accident with power steering, so that's not a big deal. But we're almost there. Belts back on. We should be able to start it up here soon. So how I'm gonna fill up the trans probably isn't the right way, but it works. So what I'm gonna end up doing is, you see that blue sensor down there? It's a 21 millimeter. I'm gonna undo that and I'm literally just gonna fill it up right there. This trans takes 2.3 quarts, I wanna say, of transmission fluid. What was in it before is Redline. I don't want to use Redline right now because I don't know if I'm gonna have to take this back apart or not. So I have some Royal Purple. I've used it before with this transmission, some 7590, and it's worked out well. So I'm gonna use that again, and I'll let you guys know how this is set up here in a second once I get that sensor off. So we'll be right back. Alright, so this is the setup. You take out that sensor, you put a little funnel right there. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. And yeah, just pour it in. I already started pouring some of this in just so that way I had it done. I just wanted to show you guys, like, this does work. I wouldn't do this to, like, unless you know exactly how much you need to put in. But for, like, say, hey, I feel like I'm a little bit low or I leaked a little bit, you could definitely just use this to top you off. So, figured I'd share that. Alright, I'll let you guys know when we're gonna start up. Alright, well, started the car. Still need to put the strut bar back on, but bleeding the coolant. If you didn't know, in order to bleed the coolant, you need to turn your heater on. So what I'm doing right now is I am letting it go through the heater core on the inside. It's gonna be hot in here, but it is what it is. It's gotta get done if you want all of the air bubbles out. It's still trying to find out where it wants to idle right now. I'm assuming because it's bleeding currently, it's just hasn't found a happy spot. Once the ECU kind of figures itself out, it'll fix itself. But yeah, we're all back together and it's all good to go now. Yeah, I think this is it.